Namaskar, I'm Ashok, and with me I have Jagajit Singh ji, who is political analyst. He has been very deeply immersed in Indian politics actively before coming to this part of the world. So when you look at India, and especially starting from reference of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's speech to the final session of 17th Lok Sabha, wherein he highlighted the historical achievements that were made.
17वीं लोकसभा का अंतिम सत्र और अंतिम आवर ही समझ लीजिए है। लोकतंत्र और भारत की यात्रा अनंत है। अनेक और ये देश किसी पर्पज के लिए है, उसका कोई लक्ष्य है, वो पूरी मानव जात के लिए है। श्री अरविंदो ने देखा हो, चाहे स्वामी विवेकानंद जी ने देखा, लेकिन आज उन शब्दों में, उस विजन में सामर्थ्य था, वो हम आंखों के सामने देख पा रहे हैं। दुनिया जिस प्रकार से भारत के महात्म्य को स्वीकार कर रही है, भारत के सामर्थ्य को स्वीकारने लगी है, और उसको, उस यात्रा को हमें और शक्ति के साथ आगे बढ़ाना है। आदरणीय अध्यक्ष जी, चुनाव बहुत दूर नहीं है। कुछ लोगों को थोड़ी घबराहट रहती होगी, लेकिन ये लोकतंत्र का सहज आवश्यक पहलू है। हम सब उसको गर्व से स्वीकार करते हैं, और मुझे विश्वास है कि हमारे चुनाव भी देश की शान बढ़ाने वाले, लोकतंत्र की हमारी जो परंपरा है, पूरे विश्व को अचंभित करने वाले अवश्य रहेंगे, ये मेरा पक्का विश्वास है। आदरणीय अध्यक्ष जी, मैं सभी माननीय सांसदों का जो सहयोग मिला है, जो निर्णय हम कर पाए हैं, और कभी कभी हमले भी इतने मज़ेदार हुए हैं कि हमारे भीतर की शक्ति भी खिल करके निकली है। और मेरा तो परमात्मा की कृपा रही है कि मुझे जब चुनौती आती है तो ज़रा और आनंद आता है। हर चुनौती को हम सामना कर पाए हैं, बड़े आत्मविश्वास और विश्वास के साथ हम चले हैं।
See, the government is acting with a lot of confidence, or it is overconfidence.
See, the political climate in India, we have different parties putting on their perspectives. There are people who do not like Mr. Modi. There are people who love him. So not liking and loving are two different aspects. You are not liking Modi, but in the way when you are not liking him, you are opposing the march of progress of the country, which is not good. Now, look at it long back. Modi ji, as Prime Minister, had said India has a pivotal role to play as a Vishwa Guru. The vision he had in his mind is slowly being unfurled, and we see it. It came into the final culmination with the consecration of the Ram temple. And he outlined it very nicely in the last speech of his in the 17th Lok Sabha a couple of days back. He simply said, the role of India will now be seen with this Ram temple in a totally different perspective. Meaning thereby, when you see Lord Ram, when you listen to his thoughts, when you practice his ideology or his teachings through Ram, through their scripts, you see Ram had, in order to get his wife back, Sita ji, back from Sri Lanka, he invaded Sri Lanka. He fought a war. But what did he do? He did not capture the land. He took what was his wife, and he came back. He did not capture. So, and then the second thing which he very much did was he did not put Sri Lanka to become a subjugate ownership of India at Bharatvarsh at that point of time. And the third thing, he never dominated Sri Lanka from outside, meaning thereby the people of the world need to understand this kind of a international effort where even where there are wars going on all over. You have the Russia-Ukraine war, you have the war going on between Israel and the Hamas. But if you look at Ram, you do not see the word capture. You do not see subjugation. You do not see domination. So these things will come into play in international politics very soon.
So let me interrupt you here and look at it from a different prism. Indeed, Ram represents the ethos of Indian spirit. But in the context of the present day India, with democratic setup, with presence of different communities, different religions coexisting, some voices which emerged that included from your previous party, Congress, having not accepted the invitation to be a part of it. So we'll come back to Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the achievements of 17th Lok Sabha as he highlighted. But let us look at the purpose with which this Bharat Nyaya Yatra began on 15th January, just before 1 week before or so, before the Ram Mandir Pratishtha, and what has been its impact so far on Congress. And recent, you must be aware, another spokesperson of Congress, very vocal, Pramod Krishnan ji is also now
Expelled from the party for 6
suspended
years.
from Congress. Yeah.
See, Congress, as I know of, and Congress which is now, it tells about itself that is a democratic party. But how democratic you are if you are not ready to listen to the people of India and to your own membership, that a visit to Ram Mandir on the 22nd was not to be rejected as. Then you see the impact which this yatra started with. The yatra was entering Bihar, and the India Gathbandhan, as you say, the founder of the Gathbandhan, Nitish Kumar, left the alliance. It entered, it is about to enter Uttar Pradesh, and you have the Rashtriya Lok Dal, another part of the alliance, which left the party. You have sounds of murmuring coming from Uddhav Thackeray, another part of the alliance, which is saying that we have been closer to the BJP since long, and those, and slowly you will see them falling in line. Then you have the Shiromani Akali Dal, which is again wanting to come back to the fold. So what does all this show? All this shows that the Congress, because of its ego and because of its nonsensical politics, will be left alone. What I can say in a simple word is harakiri, which is suicide. That is what the Congress party is doing. Pramod Krishnam was a known person to me personally since the NSUI days. There was nothing wrong in him citing his own views in front of the television, like I am doing. There is nothing wrong in it. And if you say that you are a democratic party, why suspend the person for 6 years? Why not accept his views also as a view which should be discussed within the party? You have people from so many, RPN Singh, who left the party quite some time back, who was one of the coteries of Rahul Gandhi, has been nominated by the BJP to the Rajya Sabha from Uttar Pradesh just today. So you see things which are happening. Will this not weaken the Congress? And at times I do believe Rahul Gandhi, people call him Rahul Vinci or whatsoever it may be, coming from the Italian name side. But the more, perhaps this has gone too far into him, the title of Gandhi. He at times feels that he has to fulfill the wishes of the Mahatma, that the Congress party should have been abandoned in 1947. He's trying to do that. And then
Yeah,
again,
okay, I
one
hear
more thing.
your satire there, but let's look at it objectively in terms of overall Indian democracy, the way we see it right now. And Prime Minister Modi in Parliament also mentioned 400 par, and he said BJP alone would cross 370, which was indirect way of also bringing to the
Article
attention the
370.
abrogation of Article 370. Now, on the one hand, when you feel that the chances of Prime Minister Narendra Modi coming back are quite bright and day by day it seems stronger, yet it doesn't probably give you a very healthy picture of the democratic structure as a whole, because when there is no strong opposition to counter, how do you see? And of course, BJP is not responsible for making opposition stronger, but just objectively looking at the scenario at the moment.
See, the country has to be strong, and the country is strong. Look at it in a different way. Look at it how much foreign direct investment is flowing through India. If democracy would not have been stronger, perhaps this flow would not have happened. Perhaps the market would not have gone as high as it is today. Democracy exists, whatever the world parameters may show. If democracy did not exist, developments would not have happened at this scale, which is happening now. And Ram Mandir, again, when was Ram Mandir consecrated? After crores of people got the bathrooms and personal toilets. Crores of people got roof over their head, health insurance, many such factors. It's only after all that. Is this all not
And
democracy?
and that too with the order of Supreme Court, the verdict of Supreme Court. Yeah.
Supreme Court verdict said, but BJP facilitated. People recognize that. They had been long time struggling for this. And when all these development factors, which I just told you, have taken place, is it not democracy? Democracy would mean looking at everybody with the same eye. So, what was the roof given over the head to a particular people, or was it given across the board? It was across the board. The roads which have been constructed, people across the board will travel. The bathrooms which have been constructed, across the board. So there is nothing to show that the government has been partial to a particular community.
आदरणीय अध्यक्ष जी, ये 5 वर्ष युवाओं के लिए बहुत ही ऐतिहासिक कानून भी बने हैं। व्यवस्था में पारदर्शिता लाकर युवाओं को नए मौके दिए गए हैं। पेपर लीक जैसी समस्या जो हमारे युवाओं को चिंतित करती थी, हमने बहुत ही कठोर कानून बनाया है ताकि उनके मन में जो सवाल या निशान था और उनको व्यवस्था के प्रति उनका गुस्सा था, उसको एड्रेस करने का सभी माननीय सांसदों ने देश के युवाओं के मन के भाव को समझ करके बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण निर्णय किया है। आदरणीय अध्यक्ष जी, ये बात सही है कि कोई भी मानव जात अनुसंधान के बिना आगे नहीं बढ़ सकती है। उसको नित्य परिवर्तन के लिए अनुसंधान अनिवार्य होते हैं और मानव जात का लाखों साल का इतिहास गवाह है कि हर काल में अनुसंधान होते रहे हैं, जीवन बढ़ता चला गया है, जीवन का विस्तार होता गया है। इस सदन ने विधिवत रूप से कानूनी व्यवस्था खड़ी करके अनुसंधान को प्रोत्साहन देने का बहुत बड़ा काम किया है। नेशनल रिसर्च फाउंडेशन ये कानून आमतौर पर रोजमर्रा की राजनीति की चर्चा का विषय बन नहीं पता, लेकिन इसके परिणाम बहुत दूरगामी होने वाले हैं और इतना बड़ा महत्वपूर्ण काम ये 17वीं लोकसभा ने किया है। मुझे पक्का विश्वास है देश की युवा शक्ति में इस व्यवस्था के कारण दुनिया का रिसर्च और का एक हब हमारा देश बन सकता है। हमारे देश की युवा के टैलेंट ऐसी है, आज भी दुनिया की बहुत कंपनियां ऐसी हैं जिनके इनोवेशन के काम आज भी भारत में हो रहे हैं, लेकिन एक बहुत बड़ा हब बनेगा, यह मेरा पूरा विश्वास है।
How do you see the political climate before the next Lok Sabha election in India at the moment?
See, the government is walking, I would say, a rope walk. It has to be cautious, but again, things have to be realized also with a different perspective. In a country of 140 crores, 80 crores are voters. Out of this 80 crores, farmers, including many member of parliaments who had declared themselves as farmers, earning a lot of money, do not pay any taxes. So ultimately, I was looking at a chart sheet prepared by the uh, chartered accountants. They ultimately said that the taxpayers in India are roughly around 3.75 crores only, out of which almost everybody pays the tax. So unless we modify how much of which kind of agriculturist should be paying taxes, which kind of not. Now you are growing vegetables in your roof garden worth crores of rupees and become an agriculturist and hiding black money. That is wrong. So the country has to foresee these things also while making law in the future to overcome all this.
So, talking about the achievements of the government and the way when you have recently visited India, earlier also you have seen the kind of roads that you have in India. Infrastructure development has been at quite a fast pace.
आदरणीय अध्यक्ष जी, आने वाले 25 वर्ष हमारे देश के लिए बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है। राजनीति की गहमागहमी अपनी जगह पे है, राजनीतिक क्षेत्र के लोगों की अपनी आशा आकांक्षा अपनी जगह पे है, लेकिन देश की अपेक्षा, देश की आकांक्षा, देश का सपना, देश का संकल्प ये बन चुका है। 25 साल वो हैं जो देश इच्छित परिणाम प्राप्त करके रहेगा। (1930) में जब महात्मा गांधी जी ने दांडी की यात्रा की थी, नमक का सत्याग्रह था, घोषणा होने के पहले लोगों को सामर्थ्य नजर नहीं आया था। चाहे स्वदेशी आंदोलन हो, चाहे सत्याग्रह की परंपरा हो, चाहे नमक का सत्याग्रह हो, उस समय तो घटनाएं छोटी लगती थी, लेकिन 1947 वो 25 साल का कालखंड, उसने देश के अंदर वो जज्बा पैदा कर दिया था। हर व्यक्ति के दिल में वो जज्बा पैदा कर दिया था कि अब तो आज़ाद होकर रहना है। मैं आज देख रहा हूँ कि देश में वो जज्बा पैदा हुआ है, हर गली मोहल्ले में हर बच्चे के मुंह से निकला है कि 25 साल में हम विकसित भारत बना के, इसलिए ये 25 साल मेरी देश की युवा शक्ति के अत्यंत महत्वपूर्ण कालखंड है। और हम में से कोई ऐसा नहीं होगा जो नहीं चाहता होगा कि 25 साल में देश विकसित भारत न बने। हर किसी का सपना है। कुछ लोगों ने सपने को संकल्प बना लिया है, कुछ लोग शायद संकल्प बनाते देर हो जाएगी, लेकिन जुड़ना हर एक को होगा। और जो जुड़ भी नहीं पाएंगे और जीवित होंगे तो फल तो जरूर खाएंगे। ये मेरा,
Even in terms of the enthusiasm that is there, do you see it is only in one leader, or you find that there are enough leaders other than Prime Minister Modi who are also discharging their responsibilities and have generated enough of their substantial presence?
See, many leaders are there who are recognized in their own performance levels. Like, for example, when we talk about development, people do recognize Nitin Gadkari for making roads across the country. Development has never seen such high level as during Nitin Gadkari, and people recognize it. Yes, the mass leader and the face of the government is Modi, therefore it goes there. Now look at law and order situation. Even in Baluchistan, even in other parts of the world where there is a law and order situation, they say we need leader like Yogi
Yogi.
Adityanath.
Yogi
So,
Adityanath.
people have a law and order maintenance, you have Yogi. External affairs, nobody has been so fluent and so countering to foreign aggressive diplomats than Jaishankar. So he is, you have leaders in all aspects. It is not that there were no talented people earlier on in earlier governments, but there was no leader to guide them with a particular vision. The vision is there, and therefore the performance level of each and every leader is high. You look at railways, such beautiful railway stations, and the the Vande Bharat itself. Look at that. Only recently in New York City, I believe it was last year, that a rat czar was hired at an annual salary of $155,000 to get rid of the rats which used to infest the railway tracks. Now, I was, recently when I was in India, I was looking at the railway tracks. So clean, so clean. And I saw people in batches of 6 moving around every 10 minutes, cleaning up whatever was, even a small tiny paper was being picked up. And then again, people say jobs. Who were those people? Were they existing earlier? Perhaps no. So there are people who have gotten jobs, but the trouble in India is our mindset is, if you do not have a government job with a desk and a chair, you do not consider it a job.
In addition to being a political leader, he's actually motivating people to manifest their best and serve the nation. Do you see his role in that fashion?
Yes, I do see. Only some time back, when he talked about gobar gas, people ridiculed him. But only recently, I saw a video with a young man who was able to ride his motorcycle on gobar gas. He had a small bottle, those Coke bottles of 1 liter bottles, filled with gobar, cow dung, and he had a pipe, and he said he has used about 300 to 400 rupees only for a kit to connect it to the motorcycle. And he said he had 10 of those at home, which he 30-day-old cow dung to be used, and he was doing it. So these innovations have come up, and perhaps because there was somebody at the top whom people were listening to and who was talking about innovation and about people coming up with their own ingenuity. So these things should be taken on a different level, and maybe scientists and others should take it up, go for a large scale stuff, and things can be different. The India could be changed only by one small guy.
India is being perceived with different lens, and I believe a lot of credit goes to India realizing its destiny with paying due respect to its cultural traditions, uh, and the kind of respect that is shown by the leader of India to Indian tradition and the scriptures, that also acts in terms of boosting the self-esteem of the nation. And it also brings certain challenges. How do you see the balancing act that requires some additional attention?
See, there were many things which were negated from India. Like, for example, they said that this civilization does not have any scientific background. In fact, even for Ram, scientific logic was being searched whether he did exist or not. So, as per the scriptures, when they put his details as to when he was born and whatever the scripture said, and put it in the template for at NASA, they came up with that same thing, same variations. They came up with this. So, meaning thereby, thousands of years old scriptures had the knowledge of science. Even the matchmaking which we do through scriptures, even they tell you the positions of astral positions hundreds of 200 years, 300, 400,000 years back. So those things are scientifically proved. This is what Modi ji has brought in to the forefront, that India is not a country of snakes and charmers. It is a country which is young, which has science, and which is now to lead the world. Not only leading the world with Google chief and other chiefs, no. Sarva Dharma Sambhav, taking the whole world together. Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Santu Niramaya. That is what India stands for. And the world is recognizing it.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina and Vasudeva Kutumbakam, that whole world is a family, is not just preached but practiced also by India with reference to COVID vaccine sharing. Also, we have seen. But as we conclude, and there are multiple references which require attention when we talk about is India realizing its destiny, but the way opposition is perceiving some actions which are against corrupt practices as political attack on their party leadership. And then, as we are listening about revival of this Kisan Andolan, and few other would probably come up as just few months to go. The dates have not been announced, but you are aware it's just a matter of 3-4 months. How do you see this turning out overall for India?
Maybe this Kisan Andolan which you are talking about may not have come up had Chaudhary Charan Singh not been given the Bharat Ratna. Chaudhary Charan Singh was perhaps one man who breathed agriculture, who loved the Kisan, and who brought the issues of Kisan all over the country to the forefront. Karpuri Thakurji, coming from a backward, other than backward classes, he was the one who brought up the image of Bihar at one point of time without political manipulations. Narasimha Rao bringing in liberalism, Swaminathan Iyer bringing in the green revolution in this country, and of course, Lal Krishna Advani ji, who must be remembered for his unflinching Ram Rath Yatra, which ultimately culminated in the consecration of the Ram temple. I was just watching the filming of the Padma Awards. There were so many faces. There were so many people coming to receive the award without even a chappal, barefoot. So those people who were recognized, I would not have dreamt that kind of people getting Padma Awards in the Congress regime.
Absolutely. So, on that note, India realizes its destiny for the betterment
That is the
of
destiny of
humanity
India.
at large. And thank you very much, Jagajit Singh ji, for joining us. And thanks to all of you
Thank you.
for being a part of this conversation. This is Ashok Vyas.